my name is Marie, you're watching Booksville, and this is my May wrap up. In the month of May I read 3 books and listened to 3 audiobooks. Unfortunately I only have 2 of the 3 books that I read on me because one of them was my flatmate Evie's and I had to give it back to her before we went our separate ways. However, it is the first book. It was Heatwave by Richard Castle. Okay, so this book is, if you've ever watched the TV show Castle, you've probably heard of this book. Me and Evie are obsessed, I think is the right word, with the TV show, and we really love it. And she had the first book of the Nikki Heat books, which is one of the books that the main character in the TV show has written. It's a bit confusing. I read it because her mum very kindly brought it up to the uni for me so I could read it, and I must say I really quite enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was good. It was more or less like the TV show but in book form, and like I said, I really liked the TV show, so I really loved the book. I did read it at the beginning of the month of May, so I can't exactly remember completely what happens because I was also rewatching the TV series at the time and I got the stories a bit confused. But it's about a newspaper writer and a cop, and they solve murders together, which is just, it sounds amazing, and I did really enjoy the book. If you like the TV show, I recommend that you read the book. It's not the voice of Castle like you have in your head from the TV show isn't quite translated onto the page because obviously it's a fictional character who's writing this book, so it doesn't quite translate the exact way that I thought it would, but it's still a very good attempt. The next book I read was one that I actually listened to because it was an audiobook. It was The Art of War by Sun Tzu. I just finished my exams and I am an IR major, if you didn't know, and I kind of felt the need to do something IR and politics related, and I was packing up my stuff and it was a quick audiobook to listen to, so I listened to it. It was okay. Some of the stuff was slightly disturbing, but I can see why it's used for like business and like motivational talks and stuff. And I mean, it's not a book that I would listen or read in a hurry again, but it was interesting, so I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was another audiobook. It was The Twits by Roald Dahl. I like audiobooks. Well, it was the second audiobook that I ever listened to, but I'm not very good at paying attention. My dyslexia takes over and I can't focus, so anything over like an hour and a bit isn't good. So I picked short audiobooks to listen to while I was packing up, so Roald Dahl it was. And like I mentioned before, I used to really love Roald Dahl, and The Twits is no exception. It is a fun, quirky, just really random book, but I did really enjoy listening to it. It's about 2 not so nice people and they always play tricks on animals, and the animals decide to play tricks back at them. The next book I did actually read, and it was The Complete Mouse by Art Spiegelman. This graphic novel is just, the artwork is amazing for a start, and the topic of obviously the Second World War is just such a heart-wrenching, horrible topic, but this book manages to do it in an interesting, entertaining way that doesn't take away from the horror, but sort of does it in a different way. And even though it's about the Jews are mice and the Nazis are cats, you can still relate it to humans, and it's an amazing book, and I would recommend it because it was just, I don't have words. And I know it sounds really weird considering the topic, but I did really enjoy reading it. It was really interesting and I definitely am going to reread it in the future. After The Complete Mouse, I needed something kind of fun because that was quite heavy to read. So naturally I went back to Roald Dahl and I listened to another audiobook because I was packing up stuff again at this point, and it was really quick, really short, really random, but I did kind of enjoy it. It wasn't his best book, but it's one I hadn't actually read before, so I thought I'd give it a go. It was The Enormous Crocodile. It's about a crocodile who wants to eat children, but the other animals don't want him to eat children, so they sort of mess it up for him. It was quite funny. It was just a fun, easy thing to listen to. The next book is a book that I've been reading for a while, like a really long while, but I'd only managed to get a few pages in. Like I think I was 50 pages in at the beginning of May, but I did manage to finish it in May, and it is Amazon by Bruce Parry. This book is a companion book to a TV show that he did that I watched in anthropology at college, and I've had this book since college and I have read it before. It follows Bruce Parry, this guy's journey down the Amazon as he meets all the people from miners to indigenous people to people who live in cities, cocaine growers and dealers, and the police who try and stop them. He meets loads of people on his trip down the Amazon and he tries to tell their stories how they see them and what affects them and what's their biggest worries and stuff. And it's from an anthropological point of view because I mentioned earlier that I was an IR major, but technically it's anthropology and IR, and although this book isn't written by an anthropologist, it does give an interesting insight and I did really enjoy it, and the pictures are just phenomenal. Like some of the pictures are just beautiful. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and if you're interested in the Amazon or knowing about the people, I suggest you definitely pick it up and read it. Okay, it looks a bit sad because I only have 2 of the books, but these are the books that I read this month and some others. I hope you had a good reading month in May, and I will see you next time. Bye!